Welcome to episode number 32 of the Unmapped podcast. On this podcast, we talk about life, upbringing, education, ideas, morals, current events, politics, passions, and more. The camera's in a different spot today, so I almost pointed the wrong direction. I don't know how I'm going to point here. But today, my guests are the Fat Boys. I'm excited to have this podcast. We're going to be talking about lifting and just things that have to do with health, fitness, and lifestyle. So, first question would be, what is a fat boy?
That's us.
So how would we define that?
You got it.
No, you got it.
Okay, a fat boy. Yeah, I think like the genesis of fat boys is like, you know, every day when you start talking about the same thing over and over again, you kind of realize like that people have like affinities for things, I guess. And like what happened with us was every day it was always talking about food. And
that's all we talk about.
Yeah, that's all we talk about. Pretty much just food. About. And after we eat, it's like, what are we eating next? And then
I don't think it's just about food though. This is the thing. I think the distinction is if it fits your macros routine.
It's the struggle.
It's the fat boys is about like
it's a struggle.
We work out so that we can eat.
Yeah, it's like it's the bitching about the fact we have to eat good because we like food so much, but we do it because we also want to lift. It's kind of like if you don't have if you're just like a person. I feel like if you just love eating and don't work out. You don't feel like the tension. I think you need the struggle. That's what makes you a fat boy. Because like at heart, you're like, obviously like none of us are like extremely overweight.
No.
But like you're a fat boy at heart, like always. So I think that's more.
I mean, the conversation before we even started recording is yogurt's gay.
Yeah.
So.
And we're hungry. I'm very hungry.
What are you planning on eating today? What are we planning on eating?
I want to get.
They have burgers
wings.
And
we're going to Terrace.
Yeah, they have. If you guys never been there, Terrazin has like really cheap food, so we're gonna just.
Not anyone knows. Oh. Well, okay, if they're from Stoney, they'll know where Terrazin is. But
Terrace got $2 cheeseburgers.
I'm gonna have a bunch of cheeseburgers.
If you're a broke boy and a fat boy, is the best place to go. Cause then
I am a broke boy and a fat boy.
The Terra is a fat boy friendly establishment.
Yeah. I think being a fat boy takes precedence over me being a broke boy. Every time you guys message in the group chat, you're like, we're gonna get food. I'm like, well, I'm spending $10 on Chipotle.
You literally cannot help it. Like for pretty much, I don't know that any of us, like at least for me, 90% of my money goes towards food.
All of it does.
Yeah, all the money.
All of my money.
From food I don't need. Like I have food at home, but somebody says Chipotle, like I'm going.
Yeah.
There's no like debate.
Chipotle's so good.
It's so like good. The impulse, like I'm driving on the highway and I see McDonald's and I'm just there's no conscious thought happening. Like I'm already in the drive-thru. Like
I mean, that goes back to Joe Rogan always says that you can abuse cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
I do abuse cheeseburgers.
Yeah. 100%. Last night we had a test today. And
also for you abuse food when you have tests and like you're stressed.
Oh, I'm really bad.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
Like a lot of people have like vices. Like if they're stressed, they'll either start like, they'll drink a little bit or whatever. But like if I'm stressed, like I got a test yesterday. I like ordered a shit ton of Domino's.
Yeah, you just ordered a pie.
I ordered a lot. No, they had a Mother's Day deal.
Domino's had a Mother's Day deal?
Yeah, 2 medium pizzas, 1 2 liter, Cinesticks, and Parmesan bites for $20. And I was gonna eat all of it, but I didn't. I ate like probably half of both the pizzas.
You had half of both of the pizzas?
Half of both the pizzas, okay. All the Cinesticks. I gave the Parmesan things away, and we still have the Diet Coke.
Yesterday.
So that's what I did.
We had Chipotle on what, Saturday?
Yeah.
Was that Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Saturday.
Yesterday I was in Melville all day.
Mm-hmm.
I have that Chrome extension that like I thought you do like an hour on, 15 minutes off.
Yeah.
Like I did 12 cycles of that.
For studying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like
that's wild.
My sister moved out yesterday, so I took her ID card, so she has points on it. So I went ham. When I took like my break to eat, like I went over to like the fake Chipotle on campus, and I got the same shit. I got
the one by your side.
Got a bowl that was like this high. It was bad. And then I got like a couple Sour Patch Kids, some sodas. I went back to the library. It was bad.
It's also like I feel like being a fat boy also is like not even just like the love for food, but also like the fact like, all right, this is I think where we might differ, but like being
me and you in particular, or you two and
us
me?
Two and you.
Okay, this shit on me all the time. I originally was alright. So this needs to be explained.
Fake fat boy.
No, you can't say that.
That's fake fat boy. He's an evolved fat boy.
I am an evolved fat boy because what was it before junior? Okay, so the original reason we made our own like little chat to talk about lifting and eating was because that's all we talked about. But before before I was like really into it, I was on the skinnier side, whereas they were on the chubbier side, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, like loving food, like just eating a lot. So there was an entire like I want to say it was its first semester junior year where I wanted to bulk, and James just kept shitting on me because I didn't eat enough.
Rightfully so.
And I'm like, shut up. I'm explaining. And I would always say that I'm eating like 2,500 plus, and he'd just go, you can always eat more. There's always more. So I committed, doubled down, and just didn't stop eating. Like, just started drinking syrup. Like,
also, it's like it's not even like there's no stopping. I think that's another thing. Like there's if it's like a ball rolling. Like once it starts, it doesn't stop. Like if I have an Oreos in front of me, like the sleeve is gone.
I'm so bad.
Yeah, the sleeve is gone. Like there's no like.
That is a big difference between all.
Yeah, because you
two and me.
have a carton of Oreos. You guys know like the resealables.
Yeah.
You had that for like 2 or 3 weeks. Like they're gone in a day and a half. Like that's like the most that they'll last.
I don't like even if it's there, I don't remember to eat. Like I forget that they're there.
The other day,
that's all I'm thinking of.
That's like
last week I made a package of Oreos last the longest I think I've ever had. I think you know how they have like the 3 sleeves now.
Yeah.
I ate 1 sleeve each day. So it lasted 3 days. That's the longest.
Yeah, that is a big thing with me because like I'll have Oreos for like weeks.
It's not even about being full. It's just like you just
eat it for fun.
You know what's good? You go to Costco's and they have like the Linden's cookies. Those are so good. Like the chocolate chippers. I'll eat the whole thing.
The big ass like transparent carton at BJ's the cookies. Those shits are fire with the chocolate chocolate.
Those are like poisonous. I'll make myself sick off those.
Yeah, that's because you eat the whole thing and each one's 400. It's like, oh shit.
Each cookie is 400 calories
at least.
They're like fresh.
They're
the
brolic.
chunks are like that big,
and they're brolic.
So it's just obesity right there.
That's another Fat Boys friendly establishment right there.
Well, BJ's, because you get a bulk for cheap. Like if you want to get shit for cheap, like BJ's and Costco, that's where you need to be at.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
samples.
Oh, and the samples, yo.
Oh, the samples. Oh, you always get excited for this. We went to Trader Joe's and you got excited for the samples.
Like, I just take one and then he offers me another one. I'm gonna take another one. Like, just,
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, you have to go see what all the samples they have too, because like you might have missed one. That, like if you missed the one good sample, it's like fuck.
I've never had that fat in my mind. It blows my mind.
You know the Roosevelt Field Mall?
Yeah,
I've never been there.
You've never been there?
You know how the old one used to have like the oval food court, like the food court different now. My grandfather used to go and just like have lunch. Just circling around the free samples. There's like 7 Chinese places.
Yeah,
there.
the Chinese places.
Chinese places always have good samples.
Yeah.
Also, that always brings you in because it's honestly Chinese food at the mall is the best. I don't know what it is.
Salty and shit. Yeah. It's in your mouth. Like that's it. It's over.
It's over. It is over.
Also, most of them are Panda Express, and Panda Express is pretty reliable.
I've actually never been to Panda Express.
Never been to Panda Express?
No, I've never. They're not always Panda Express.
They're not.
The one that we went to is not.
But that one's not. But like most of them, I've been to.
No, I think Panda Express is usually separate from the actual like other where all of the other like food places
court?
are. Yeah, because that one's like a sit-in type thing. Isn't Panda Express sit-in?
No, it's not. It's not. You're thinking of PF
Oh,
Chang's.
I'm thinking of PF Chang's. You're right. You're right. No, you're right. It is.
I've never been to
Express.
PF Chang's.
It's either Panda Express or something else. There's another one.
Dude, the
I can't think of the name.
Chinese places I know are like the corner store Chinese spots.
Like the Chinese store.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the Chinese guy's not delivering on a bike. It's not real.
Yeah. It's not. It isn't real.
Not real.
It's not official.
Yeah.
On a beat up ass bike that's got one pedal. It's falling apart.
Yeah, and they got like 3 orders on it.
Yeah. So the next part I want to get into is like how all of us started actually getting into lifting, because all of us have different ways that we got into lifting. So I'll start off and give a little bit about my background. Is I started lifting. I got robbed. Why is that funny?
Just is.
It's just abrupt.
I got robbed.
I got robbed my sophomore year of high school. Shout out to Kishan for not listening to me. And this is during Halloween week, which is gang initiation week for those of you who don't know in like not great areas. And me and him are walking. There's a group of 5 people like walking towards us, very sketch looking. I look at him. I go, "We should take a left here and go into the building." And he's like, "No, we'll be fine." Like 2 steps later, I'm like, "Dude, I really think we should take a left here. Like they just look like they're gonna do something wrong." He's like, "No, you're being a weenie." And then when we walk up to them, they surround us. They look at me. They're like, "What time is it?" I tell them a time, and next thing you know, I'm knocked out.
Yeah.
On the floor, and I wake up. They're stealing his stuff. They're running away.
Did they hit him too? Or
No, they only hit me, which is the part that really pisses me off.
It's like, here you go.
They only hit me. I'm on the floor. I'm looking up. I'm looking at him. He's like giving them his phone, and they're taking my watch. But it's so dumb. Like I look back at it, it's like those people are so like incapable as people. Because if they took my graphing calculator, they would have made more money off of the G-Shock and my friend's phone. He had like a $20 T-Mobile phone, and those are the 2 things they took.
But like a stunt, like they enjoyed the act of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just to make them do it. It's like the initiation act of it.
Yeah.
yeah, so I got robbed, and then after that, I was like, wow, like, I'm a weenie. Like, I couldn't do anything for myself at that point. So I got into karate. I went to a dojo for, I want to say, 6 months. Stayed white belt for 6 months. I couldn't pass any of the promotions. And then my parents were like, oh, well, we don't want to pay like $100 a month for this. Like, it's a lot of money. It adds up. So I got a Planet Fitness membership. I went to Planet Fitness my sophomore year of high school. Junior year of high school, I started going to Bally's, I think. And then, yeah. So junior and senior year, I went to Bally's. And
What's that?
Bally's is like a legit gym, right? They have like barbells and stuff like that.
Bally's is just
It's a chain.
It's not. It's I don't think it's around anymore. I think 24 Hour Fitness took them over. Yeah. So Bally's was a gym that was around before, but the one I went to, like, I think back about it now, like, they had a lot of good equipment. I used all hammer strength equipment for all the machines, and it was just like, it's like everyone around me was like yoked. So senior year is like when I really committed to trying to gain some weight. So
Senior year of high school.
Yeah. So over the course of sophomore year to senior year of high school, I gained, I want to say, like 15 pounds. So I went from 130 to 145.
Like, still lean?
Yeah, still lean, because I was skinny.
That's pretty impressive.
And then college is when I started really like putting up weight and gaining a lot more muscle and like weight in general. So that's like my origins. Then we'll get into college later. So you could go with, actually James should go first.
Yeah.
So like I've always been into lifting. My dad was into lifting. He was in the police department, and him and all his friends were lifting. So like me growing up, like being a guy, like I just saw it as like what you do. Like I couldn't wait to start. Like I was doing push-ups and curls and stuff like that, shit like that in my basement, like cheap dumbbell sets, and remember those perfect push-ups.
Yeah.
Wait, how old were you?
6th grade,
Okay.
11, 12 years old. And like my dad would take me to the gym with him like every once in a while, like the precinct gym. So we work out. Those places were awesome. They're like
precinct gyms.
That just sounds dope.
Yeah, there's always a gym in the basement. And they're like these dungeon gyms. They just have like the sound system, the squat rack, the bench, dumbbells up to like 150. Like
It's got the old school feel.
Yeah.
It's like that the gym that Dorian Yates used to work at.
yeah, it's like it's exactly like that.
I forgot what the name of his gym was, but the way that gym is
It's dark,
laid out is like that.
It's like dirty and it's
no
just,
air conditioning?
Like, awesome. Yeah, you just blast the music and you work out. Those are some of like the best workouts I ever had. And then
That was still in 6th grade?
that was like kind of through middle school.
They started
high school.
early.
It really is.
And then when I was in 8th grade, I was going to a Planet Fitness that was like next to my middle school.
Planet Fitness's origins.
Yeah, that's like everybody's because it's $10 a month.
Yeah.
And
Crunch is the new origins now. I think a lot of people go there.
There isn't one near me.
It's a pretty good gym for the price.
Yeah, I believe it. But then I started working out in high school, and my school's gym was awesome. We had like 8 squat racks. We had dumbbells up to 100, which is plenty for a high school kid.
But what type of workouts were you doing? It was for sports. Right?
Yeah, but it was still like
I think you had a more regimented workout routine
like
for a high schooler.
Sports, like you're not doing anything that's like that special for the most part. Maybe like 25% of your work is like specialized, and then you have stuff that's completely outside of the gym, like your skill work, your foot, your sprint, stuff like that. But like, I mean, in like the winter time, we would go to the gym after school, like right after school, and start stretching. And we'd work out Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
What type of workouts were they though?
Like Monday would be like usually it was power cleans as the first lift.
So Olympic lifting.
Yeah,
Like modified Olympic lifting. When you're
but like
football,
definitely like compound oriented.
yeah.
It's performance based.
Yeah, but a lot of it was like not that different from bodybuilding. That's kind of like the prevailing thread that like I've kind of learned over the years. Is like all like there's like the spectrum of like all these different things that you could do, but really like you should be coming towards the middle in all things. Like we would do like power cleans like 3x3, like that's your speed strength kind of work. But then it would be bench. You know, we used to do like this rep scheme. It was like a set of 8, a set of I think it was 6, and then a 3x3. Where the 3x3 was like the real kind of workout. And then we would do like incline dumbbells for reps, pull ups on rows,
like
and then the next day would be like the main lift was a dumbbell snatch. But like I was good at the Olympic lift, so I had like a special person to do like the barbell snatch, like the full snatch.
Yeah.
And then it would be like more shoulder work. We'd do like push press. Like most people don't do a push press because it's not relevant to like looking good. You're not
What's a push press?
It's like a military press, but like you use momentum.
Oh, okay.
And then like some people were putting up big numbers on that when I was in high school. There's guys putting up like 225 on push press.
Oh my god.
That's ridiculous.
And then there would be like more shoulder work that day and some leg work that day. They changed it kind of through the semester. Like I know like in spring we would be doing more legs for whatever reason. Like sometimes we would do a front squat on the second day, but the Thursday it was always back squats. and then a lighter bench day that day, and then just more rep work, especially for legs. We would do like we had a hallway outside the gym.
Lunges.
We just do lunges across the
Oh
hallway.
my god,
stuff
lunges
like
are
Just
brutal.
kill.
and then we would do sprints and stuff like that. After we would go down to the
Sheesh.
field. You'd
That's a
put your
lot of
cleats
stuff.
on.
Yeah,
Also, when you're young too. Like,
yeah.
So it was mainly the foundation still.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you do stuff for like football, because you play football very competitively.
Yeah.
So like,
I don't purpose. I mean, I was talking to Peter about this yesterday. He was talking about how he got washed. This cool guy.
When we played Peter, they didn't score.
Yeah, it was 3-4-0. That sucks so
Like,
bad. He said he didn't play that game though. He was out for I think he apparently he had 2 bad injuries. Well, no, one of them was he had a staph infection, which is horrible. He
They
had,
don't knock you out. You can't. You're told.
yeah,
towels
and then he had a shin fracture from like running
sheesh.
because he got like really bad shin splints, and I think he
yeah.
ended up getting a fracture, which is blew my mind that you could do that. But that like he was out that game because of, I think either both those things or just the staph infection. I'm not sure which one it was.
But he's another one where like you can see like what football and lifting has done for him.
Yeah.
If you see him in the gym, like his form is A1.
Yeah, it is
His
A1.
form is A1.
Yeah,
Like he knows what he's doing. Puts up big numbers.
A big thing is like I think when you lift in that way, you have that proportion and symmetry with like the way your body adapts to all the workouts you're doing. Because I think it's more balanced overall.
Because of the lifts you're doing, or because you're an athlete.
A little bit of both. Like for me, like when I worked out originally, I was like it was like looks getting big and like there's no like program in what I was doing.
chest and biceps.
Yeah, yeah, basically like a bro. It was literally bro split
split.
0. Like it wasn't even bro science. It
It's
was
good
just
though if you do like a real, like if you just start out doing like one day you do chest, one day you do back, one day you do legs. Like,
yeah.
You'll be fine. Like you're not gonna develop disproportionately that way, you know.
Yeah, I think the people's like they're doing that and then they don't want to do legs on Friday, so they do chest again. Like that's what.
Yes, see, like I think I used to do that.
But that's what everybody.
Cause
But
but
I think that brings up the point of like
That's just like part of the journey.
yeah, like getting in the gym is more
Yeah.
important than like
then what you
adherence.
do at the gym. Yeah,
It's even with eating.
it's the
like,
consistency. It's
Yeah.
the consistency that matters. But yeah, I definitely did too many flies. We've talked about
Flies,
this.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to flies.
Yeah, I
Do
for
them
some
at the
reason I
end.
thought.
I like doing them at the end, like the pec deck or something. But
But then again, like I feel like I've become a little like lopsided because I don't like I press every my pressing days are just like all pressing. Like,
You do a lot of pressing.
I just shit.
like a
I do
lot
every
of-
type of press that's like available.
I know like a lot of powerlifting type people like used to like shit on flies, but it's like they're kind of moving back to that because like
The isolation.
all these guys are tearing their pecs.
Oh
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
And now a lot of
Like
people are reincorporating.
That's because they're putting too much weight though.
I think it's just
I mean,
a lot
if you're
easier.
doing anything to like the most competitive level, like injuries are gonna happen
Yeah.
regardless of what it is.
The thing with flies, I comparative to any form of pushing or like pressing movements, I think you put yourself in a lot more of a compromised position. Because when you're doing
Yeah,
a
it's
fly,
weird.
like when you're doing a fly, you're coming out like
That's why I
this.
don't like doing them with the dumbbell.
Yeah,
Your shoulders compromised.
Yeah, that's how I think that's one of the main reasons why I fried my shoulders at a young age.
Especially because like if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna naturally like being the ego and everything. You're gonna put up too much weight.
Yeah.
And like that's a movement you cannot do too much weight. on.
Exactly. I told you I used to fly 60s for no
That's ridiculous.
reason.
That's absurd.
Like for no like there's no other lift that I was like I had put up weight. Like that was just like outrageous weight for no reason. But when you're coming down this way, like you're just putting yourself in a compromised position to literally tear your pec on the side.
Yeah, you should.
Also, like the force of gravity is not like going where you want it to. The whole like part of the range of motion. Like the pec is pulling the shoulder girdle forward.
Yeah.
Right. So it's right here, and then like this movement. This is just a movement. Where
Yeah,
arm
you're right.
moves with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
movement.
yeah.
That's why I
Yeah,
don't-
it's
that's
a
what
weird range of motion, and I don't think anyone really needs to do flies.
Is
I
it
don't think
cool?
you need to do dumbbell flies. I think like
Pec deck and,
Pec deck,
and
yeah.
cable. Cables
Yeah,
are good too.
Cables are
Because
good
cables
too.
are meant for workouts where like you don't want to put
I
too much
think
weight. It's just concentration.
It's for a
That's the point.
burnout.
Yeah.
It's more for like a side type of thing, or like an end of a workout, or
it's just a way to get more volume.
It's the mind
without-
muscle too. Like I was
Yeah.
gonna ask you, do you feel like being an athlete has helped you with like the mind muscle connection, the importance of mind muscle
I think you
connection?
know your body better if you're an athlete than if you weren't.
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
definitely-
Because a lot of kids that never played sports and then they try to work out. I'm wondering how like
Yeah, if you ever see like a non-athletic kid try to do like a squat for the first time, like it's a disaster.
yeah.
I remember when I first started working out, I definitely didn't have the same mind muscle connection.
Like just being able to move in like a coherent manner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I was better than a lot of people just because I was an active kid.
I
Like,
don't
was
think
doing
like
a lot of
athletes
stuff.
even have to like think about that. Like they're
Yeah,
just,
I
like,
agree.
they're already like in it. Like
Yeah, I agree with that. Like being able to like also a lot of that stuff is like just like it's muscle memory and like just not thinking. Like if you see like when a player do like a crazy layup, he's not like thinking, oh my body, it's just like natural.
Yeah,
I think that's a
yeah.
lot easier to get there when you're an athlete.
Right.
You know,
All right, so let's get into you and your
Okay,
story
so-
of
so-
lifting. Because for those of you who don't know, he was a He's a fine looking lad now, but he
Yeah.
wasn't originally.
So I
Prodigy.
He's a prodigy. He is our prodigy.
So yeah, so I guess growing up I was always like pretty overweight. Like up until like 4th grade when I stopped, well, pretty much when I stopped playing basketball competitively. That's when it stopped. I stopped playing basketball at like 10 years old.
You stopped playing basketball?
I played AAU till like 10, 11.
Okay.
And I stopped playing.
Oh yeah, because we when we were talking on the other when you were here.
Yeah,
2
I
days
play
ago.
sports. Like I
Talking
play
about sports, yeah.
So like I started gaining like a lot of weight. I still playing baseball, but like baseball's not. You don't need to be like crazy.
Yeah,
especially when you're playing at like not at
That
really
league
really
level?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean even if like through like travel and stuff, like you don't need to be crazy. So yeah, I was pretty overweight. I started trying to get into lifting like senior year and like junior year of high school, but nothing like serious. And the worst part was like my eating was like just
Just a joke.
horrendous. It was just so bad. Like
It's crazy when you think about like when you were younger. Like when I was in high school, I could eat whatever the fuck I wanted.
Yeah.
I would never gain weight.
but I think my problem was also was like I guess talking about the thing I did with Domino's, which is still
Stress eating.
semblance of like still it's still there, but like I just like that was so bad. Like when I was upset, like that's how I dealt with things. So like I got into like what I'm like 5'6", 5'7" on a 5'7" on a good day. And my back is very decompressed and stuff. I'm probably 5'7", so I was like 5'7", 5'6", like 195.
I wanna
which
say,
is like
yeah,
which is like pretty ridiculous when you have no muscle.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. Like I was like about to be like pretty obese.
You're on the cusp of like overweight, obesity.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I was. Then freshman year, I lived with like our roommates and a lot. Imran's one of them,
I'm the guy.
and he like he said he was lifting in high.
I think they're yelling at you.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Just lose
In
it.
high school, so he was doing that. Kobe, our other roommate, he worked out because he played sports.
He was jacked freshman
and
year.
Goko, yeah,
He
he
was
was.
jacked
And
freshman
Goko
year.
worked out too. Goko
Yeah,
strong
Goko
as
did
hell.
work out. Yeah,
Goko's so
yeah,
strong.
Yeah, he still probably retains. A
He
lot of
still
that
he
shit.
still
Yeah.
could.
He was always on the 5x5 routine. I don't know what it is with the Asian community because I was actually talking to someone the other day when we went to the campfire.
Yeah.
They all follow like that barbell brigade.
It's the
type
powerlifting.
routine,
It's the
powerlifting
powerlifting.
stuff.
Like influential Asian people like went into that, and then
Yeah.
it trickles down.
Yeah, but he's strong. Goko is so strong. He probably still could touch 225 without he hasn't touched the weight in a while.
Easily.
On squat. But so he working out. So pretty much the whole point is everybody in the room was working out. So like they would have to drag me. They're like, "Probably you want to work out?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to work out." Like you would come to the rec center because the cool thing about being on campus is that the rec center is really nice and they just renovated it the year we came in. So everybody's going to the rec center. I was like, "Probably go," and I would never want to go. They had to drag me there, and I started working out with Imran in the beginning, like
was me.
I guess like kind of get me into it. I just pretty much do what he would do.
I remember freshman year.
I don't really remember too much of it.
I remember specifically because actually I was talking to Matt about this earlier because
Matt Kenny?
Yeah, because of the picture that I posted on my Instagram today.
Yeah, what do you
the
say?
picture of us from freshman year.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, it probably looks like a completely different. This picture. That one.
Yeah.
Damn.
With the ratchet as
The ratchet, the beer pong setup.
Yeah.
Don't put that up to the camera.
That's the poverty.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the poverty setup right here.
Yeah.
You can see that. But yeah. So I remember that I was talking to Matt and I was telling him I was like, when I first saw you, I was like, this kid's a narc. This kid has to be.
That's what everybody
This
said.
kid has to be a narc.
That's what everybody said.
And like we talked to you, I mean, like, you know, first nights happened and you weren't a narc, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna make this kid go to the gym with me, and you like I couldn't try. I tried my hardest and I couldn't persuade you to want to go, but I would literally like keep like my personality is very annoying.
There's a lot of yelling involved.
Yeah, so I would literally just annoy the shit out of him until you go to the gym with me. I was like, yo, like trust me, like down the line you're gonna see where this is gonna put you.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna happen. Just like you gotta start going. It's all that matters.
So
But I did do the wrong things at first because I made him like run track.
Fuck running.
Going from 0 to forcing him to run track, he's just like, I don't want to fucking do this.
Yeah. And I think also a big thing that you also taught me, especially when you live on a college campus, like eating is very difficult. You see a lot of kids like come in college and they gain weight. A lot of kids gain weight.
Yeah,
because like
15.
like one, you're not making your own meals. Nobody's like making you eat vegetables, and 3, like the food on the campus is actually just bad for you.
Yeah, it's just fast food.
So I think one of the biggest thing you did for me also was like telling me what's good, what's not. I didn't know anything about like nutrition.
Did I really?
Yeah.
I feel like even at that age, I didn't know that much. Though.
No, you knew more than me.
Yeah, valid.
Like, don't eat that.
Yeah.
Don't just go eat that. Like if you told me back then like this amount of food is this many calories, now I can estimate things pretty good now. Like before I didn't know like how much calories in on a gram of fat. Who knows that?
Yeah,
Not many people know that.
But once you get into the routine of it and you start like looking at it, even if you, because I tell all my clients this,
just reading a nutrition label.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, like I was a personal trainer for a while.
That's
like,
another big thing.
Any client that I ever worked with, I tell them it's like, I don't want you to track it long term. I want you to track it for a week so you get an understanding of what calories are. Like you got to see like how many calories you're intaking. Yeah. Because there's some clients like they did it for the week and they're like, wow, like I was eating like 4,000 calories a day.
You don't even know. Yeah.
You really don't. Was it like a Cliff Bar? Like I was looking at it the other day. Like
260.
It's 260 and it's 21 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
That should, like when you start tracking calories,
you learn
changes your life forever. Yeah. And it's like with people who aren't into fitness, like there's also the inconsistency. Like some days they're eating 5,000 calories, and some days they're eating 1,500 calories. Yeah. It's just like their body's always out of whack. You know?
Yeah. But
with that comes like your mood is shit. Like
your
you're not sleeping good.
Yeah. You just fluctuate, constant fluctuations.
It affects your life in so many ways. Your skin's like fucked up.
Yeah. There's a lot of things about just being consistent. Like people think like it evens out. If I eat 5,000 today, I'll eat 200 tomorrow.
No, it's not
like that's worse than just like getting back on track and eating like the consistent amount. And eating and meal timings too. Some people eat like won't eat all day, and then other days they'll eat every 2 hours. It's like that's another big problem.
Because then your body doesn't know when you're gonna get your caloric intake, and it doesn't know how to store it for your energy.
Honestly, I can't explain why scientifically it's bad, but you can just see it.
I think it has a very big impact on your overall metabolism because of the way that your body's going to be storing energy.
Okay.
Because if you have an inconsistent amount of calories that you're taking in on a daily basis, and you're taking them at very different times, your body doesn't know how much energy you're going to get the next day.
So it stores it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's generally people don't eat enough or malnutrition. They just try to keep everything they have. But just to finish real quick, so as I started going with him, I think a big thing for people that are starting to get into lifting that like really don't want to go is you have to get past the threshold point where you get to like maybe it depends. It also for everybody's different too.
It is different.
But like you get to that 2-3 month point where honestly when you start seeing progress, when you start seeing that first progress, like oh shit, like this amount of work resulted in this.
You get addicted,
and then
to
you
the
just get high off it. Yeah. So I think I got addicted from that, and then we worked out for a while.
Yeah.
Together.
I'd say.
Few months.
I say all of freshman year.
Yeah, I was
most of freshman year.
And slowly, and I made small changes. It wasn't really I wasn't that serious about it. I don't think yet. But I would go more regularly. I would watch what I'm eating. And probably freshman year I dropped what, maybe 10, 15? 10, 15. Yeah. So that's not bad.
Sophomore year is the difference from that to sophomore year was the picture with you with no sweatshirt that Justine took.
Yeah.
So I would say that's like a solid like 15, 20 by the end of sophomore year.
Yeah. So then I think after that happened, once you get like rolling like that, then I started lifting on my own. I started like doing a lot more research. Another thing is like you gotta do a lot of research on your own.
Dude, you can do that so easily now with YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. Like say Chris Jones,
Christian Guzman, Jeff Nippert, all these people. Like they have so much. Steve Cook. They have so much information out there for you. Like they didn't have that when me and James started originally. Like it was just like
it's very small subset.
Yeah,
you had to look for it.
Yeah, exactly.
When I started lifting, the only people that were big on online were like professional bodybuilders. Like Jay Cutler was like winning the Olympia at the time, and he like they put his workouts on, and his chest workout was like 35 sets. Like that's not good advice for. But back then, that's how everyone was lifting.
Yeah,
that's also true. I think volume has changed a lot over time. Now it's like a lot less volume than it used to be.
Well.
You are a different.
Yeah, alright. So I guess another thing with me is like I subscribe to like I do a lot of those like I don't know I wouldn't say a bodybuilder head type steroid like people who can do are on those things like those type of workouts, but like I'm a big fan of like I think something that's kept me in the gym like a big thing about it is like adherence. Like whatever gets you to go, then something that you talk about a lot is like whatever gets you to go, like that's where you should at least start because going is better than not going. Doing something is better than not going. So I think for me like what I like is like I like. In the beginning, like we were doing bro splits, which is like Monday is chest, Tuesday is like things that normally people think about, versus like push pull legs and things like that. Most of it, so like I would go and I would just like do like bro. I subscribe heavily to bro science, which is like you go see a dumbbell, just go curl it, curl the dumbbell, and I don't count sets. I would just go and just do it till I couldn't feel anything.
Yeah.
And I think like that was like got me in the gym, that kept me like interested, and like I would change it up.
I mean, it is more important to be interested and want to go.
Yeah, like when we would do like push-ups till we can't do anymore, so you can do more. Like that keeps you doing.
Interested.
Like, yeah, that is like making competitive and things like that.
And I think that was a big change for, because I want to bring this up for you junior year. It's because I remember junior year, like in the beginning of it, when we'd have conversations about lifting, I feel like you were still in that regimented mindset from like football and stuff, but like that made you less likely and desired, like you had less of a desire to go to the gym
because I was doing 5x5 at the time, and my back was fucked up. My back is still fucked up.
Yeah, we could talk about that too. That's important.
Like injuries and stuff.
Yeah, injuries.
So like I just had like a freak thing on my back freshman year. I was doing a squat. I was just kind of learning how to do like low bar squats. I never really done them. When you're in a low bar squat, you're at the bottom. You have a lot of lumbar flexion because of the angle. And you know, if you have lumbar flexion, you have like the shear forces going on the disc in your spine, and it kind of like, I mean, you have a high probability of getting like a slip disc. I never was diagnosed with a slip disc by a doctor. I never went to a doctor. Which is pretty stupid, but like I was just like I was warming up on squat. I mean, I'm coming out of like high school football. I played competitive high school football. I was squatting high bar like 315 for like sets of 8 as a senior.
That's so much. Oh my gosh.
And so I was warming up with 225. Like 225 was nothing for me at the time, and I just sit down in the hole, like all the way, because like you squat high bar, you squat ass to grass, right? Like low bar, it's not like that. Like you still squat below the crease of your knee, but it's more like you're more like anterior, like you're pushing your hips back. Your back is coming lower. So
Russell recently switched to low bar, I think.
Low bar, I thought most powerlifters do low bar because you put up more weight.
Yeah, you put up more weight. The range of motion is shorter, but I didn't know that. I was like taking the low bar to the basement, and I'm sitting down in the hole, like again, like 225 is nothing for me at the time. And I'm kind of just sitting in the hole. I'm letting my hips open up.
Now.
And then it just kind of like, I just felt like an explosion in my lower back. And I just like quickly like shot the weight, threw it in the thing. And you know, like there's the boxes that they have like for people doing like Olympic lifts and shit. I sat on that box. I couldn't stand up for like a half an hour. I was sitting there for a half an hour.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, because I'm imaging it now. When you're coming down with the
you see it's like
low bar squat,
they call it the butt wink. Like
exactly.
Like
That's exactly what I'm
like
thinking. Yeah. So you went ass to grass with the butt wink, and then when you came down that low with that much weight, and you did your hips rotated inwards, your spine had too much force.
It was in the hole when you try to go up.
It was in the hole, I think.
Yeah, I was all the way, like my knee was at maximum.
Okay, but I think he's asking like did it happen?
When did the hit, like,
at the bottom?
Oh, okay.
So like after the butt wink, after that happened, just put too much tension on your spine. Oh my god,
that's bad.
That is bad.
That's bad.
So like my back is still pretty fucked up, but I've been working on it. I think a lot of the problem is my hamstrings are super tight, and so that I get into the lumbar flexion at like an earlier kind of stage than someone who wouldn't. So I'm working on that. But right now I'm doing 0 squats and deadlifts.
Right.
I just use the pitch shark and the leg press.
The pitch shark's amazing.
Shit is amazing. Yeah.
Pitch shark's fucking
pitch shark. Everybody subscribes to that. I need to learn how to do that.
It's not that bad.
You gotta find your groove like in the machine, but like because like the way your upper body's gonna move in a different way than it does with a regular squat. But like once you get that movement down, it's just like
it's really fun.
You get this burn in your legs. It's just amazing. Like I'll do like sets of 20, and like because the range of motion is a little shorter, and like when you do a squat, like a lot of it is the technique. It's a lot of this keeping your chest up like that, like the bar, your upper back tight. Like the technique takes a lot of away from the weight that you can lift.
You need the cues.
Yeah,
with the
like,
pitch shark,
it's just weight. Like I'll throw 5-6 plates on each side and just fucking go. It's awesome.
Because also the center of gravity for where the weight is right under you. Yeah. Like it's literally right under you, so you don't have to focus on like making sure you're straight, making sure your head's at the right position, making sure the weight's not moving back and forward. Yeah. So it's like a lot less on form, a lot more on like just
I'll
doing
like not even just like lock out. I'll do like 75% of the range of motion from the bottom. And just do like sets of 20 like that.
You think it's a replacement for a heavy compound movement?
I don't think so.
But if that's what's gonna get you to do legs,
then
that's what you should do legs.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so that, let's go back to talking about like how you like junior year. That I think that switch was big when you start talking more about like
I was doing squats like for a while after I hurt my back. So like I was doing 5x5, and I was just like, I got to a point where my back healed. It took like 6 months before I was like able to squat again. But I wasn't like actively recovering. Like there's people who come back from slip disc pretty fast, but like they diagnose it right away and they take care of it. They do things like you ever see like a reverse hyper?
Yeah. Chris Jones recently got that because he had the same. He has L4 or L5.
Yeah, his thing is like
he herniated an L4 and L5.
Some people will do like multiple discs at a time. It can be real bad.
I think Chris Jones is.
It's like also like it's like more than a 4 millimeter like dislodgement, bulging
Yeah.
is like really bad, and he's like a 5 millimeter thing.
Yeah, I never, again, like disclaimer, I was never diagnosed with slip disc, but I'm pretty sure I had one because I had sciatica down my right leg, like when I was driving and shit. Like,
Because what happens is when the disc bulges, all your nerves that are running down your spine, it pushes on them.
Sheesh.
So it pushes on that.
Spine is not a joke.
It's not at all.
But I got to the point where I was able to do a squat without pain, but then I was like, afterwards, like the day after, like my legs would get super tight, like then my back would be hurting because the hamstrings get tight, and then like every time you bend over, like your hips start to flex a little bit like that. So my back was always hurting. Like I was like basically miserable doing the 5x5, but I wanted to get strong. Like I wanted to squat a lot of weight, so I was doing it, and like I was just hating going to the gym. Like my perspective towards the gym like completely changed.
Yeah, you had a negative relationship.
Because I think your perspective was like, I need to go and do this like workout.
Which I think is fair.
No, it is fair. It's for athletics. Like, because me and him would always have this argument where it was like, I was always on the side of like, I just go to lift.
Yeah.
Where you were more like strategic, like there's a reason behind
Strength gains.
Strength gains.
There like there is like a more efficient way to train like for whatever your goal is. Your goal is to like look as good as possible, which means to build as much muscle as possible and be as lean as possible. You get to take advantage of how like muscle protein synthesis works, like how fast it takes for your body to recover, right? Like if I go and do chest, right, within 72 hours, my chest is completely healed from the last workout. Every day that passes from the point where it's healed, like muscle wasting is happening, right? So like if you want to maximize your training, instead of doing 30 sets one day a week, you do 10 sets, and then you hit it with another 8 sets or so when it's healed again, right? That's a more efficient way to train because over the long term you're getting more volume.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, that's what a lot of people do with push-pull legs.
Push-pull legs.
It's
Which
a two repeat one day off.
Which you have put me on. And since I think I've had a lot of gains since I've been on push-pull legs. But yeah, keep on.
That being said, like the 5x5 program, you're doing squats Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
That's
bench
brutal.
Friday, and
That's
Monday.
brutal.
Like I was just in agony all the time. I didn't want to go to the gym. Like that might have been a more efficient way to get strong, but like I was missing workouts because I just hated going to the gym. Like I was like, I would wake up in the morning like, fuck, I have to do squats again today. Like it just sucked.
Whereas at the time, me and him were still doing bro splits.
But if I'm skipping like one workout a week, then I'm only getting 10 sets of leg work in that week. Like it would have been better if I just went twice anyway and did a little bit more like bro shit. So,
I think all of us have found more of like a middle ground between what you were doing and what we were doing.
But the change for me like really happened too is like when I started dieting. Like when I hurt my back, that's when I really started gaining weight too because I just wasn't exercising. Like for like the time that I was in like a lot of pain, I couldn't move. Like I couldn't do any squats. I couldn't run. Like I couldn't do anything. I could barely walk. So like I gained a lot of weight because it was my freshman year of college. Like I had like basically like my parents got me like the big meal plan. So I was eating like whatever the fuck we wanted. Like when we were freshmen here at Stony Brook, the food was mad good.
Yeah, it was a lot
we
better
lived
than now.
above basically the dining hall.
Yeah.
Anytime I was hungry, I can go down and get whatever I wanted. Like cheeseburgers, French fries. We had the Kelly Deli, which had like all boar's head sandwiches.
Yeah, they had great wraps.
If you're from New York, and you know about like the corner bodega that has the great sandwiches.
It was
like having
basically
that. Yeah. So I was eating shit like that all the time. And I fucking made the macarons on those sandwiches. Maybe like $1,500 now. The sandwiches I get fucking grilled chicken, like pepper jack,
And then they loaded with
lettuce,
cheese,
tomato, mayo, chipotle mayo, everything. Right?
All the mayo.
So I got. I mean, I'm 5'10". Like I've always been like 200 pounds. I played defensive line in high school, so like being heavy was always like a benefit to me. But then I ballooned up to like 225, like maybe 230. I don't know. Like I didn't weigh myself at the highest point. And
that was in college?
Yeah. And then I was 200 like through high school. And then junior year, I started dieting. I was like, I saw some pictures of myself from like when I went on a cruise. I was like, I don't like the way I look. Like I got to change it, right? So I started dieting. I lost 30 pounds.
Sheesh.
I got it down to 195 in the beginning of summer between junior and senior year.
I remember because you were dark as fuck because you went to the well, I don't know where you went.
Florida, right?
And then he's on campus. I was on campus because I was in school during the summer.
No, he went on a cruise with Alexa.
I didn't go anywhere then. I was just going
Oh,
to
you
the
just
beach.
tan?
He was mad dark for some reason, and then he comes up. I'm walking out. I don't have my glasses on. 'Cause I never wear my glasses. And then he's like looking at me like waiting. I'm like, why is this car like waiting for me? And I walk out. I was like, oh shit! Like I didn't recognize. Not even the fact you were really dark, but like you like lost a shit ton.
Yeah.
Like, you were fucking yoked.
Yeah.
Like you were yoked. That was the most yoked I've ever seen you. That was crazy.
And but then like when you're dieting, you already don't like training. Like your energy's down when you're dieting. So like I was just like fuck that. Like I can't work out that way anymore. I started doing push-pull legs. And push-pull legs is easy to just modify to whatever your needs are. Yeah. You miss a day, it's not a big deal because you're already, even if you only got one day this week, you're getting like you're getting 2 days over like a 8-day period anyway. So like, it's still more volume than you would be getting otherwise. So
right.
I swear by push-pull legs. It's like I try different things all the time and I always come back to it.
Yeah, I'm same. I'm on push-pull legs.
I've been on push-pull legs too, and I think that it's just like, the thing I like about it is like the idea that you're hitting the similar muscle, like, it's like movement based.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
literally the name is movement based.
Because
like, so example, when I go like do pull like back is, I think for all of us, most of us, it's our favorite movement.
Back is better.
I love the back
because you can lift the most weight.
Like
in my opinion,
it's the best exercise.
That too.
Pull ups, doing weighted pull ups.
Also, because your back has the most muscles.
Yeah.
Compared to chest,
so like when they
legs, but
when they looked at like back too, like I don't know, you guys know who like Dr. Mike Israel is. He's a PhD.
Oh no, I know.
Exercise science. He works for like Renaissance.
Was he on? He was on one of the videos with Omar. I think.
Yeah, Omar takes him on a bunch of times. He's a genius, and like when they look at like, they did all these experiments to define like what is the optimal range of volume per like muscle group, and they found like back is like a super high range. Like people can do 25 sets a week of back work. And still not see like a negative impact on like muscle growth. So like it's just fun. Like you can do as much or as little as you want with back. It's just so open to what you want to do. Whereas like legs, like you do 20 sets of legs
you're
in a week, like you're fucked. Like it's not happening.
But the thing I like about pull, those things, like for example, if you do pull like pull-ups, it works like your biceps too, and then like traps is gonna get hit when you do any type of deadlift or you do any type of barbell row. It's like everything is like getting hit with every movement.
It's not isolation.
Yeah, everything is like compounding.
Yeah.
And I think like if you do a good pull-up workout, like you are fried. And it's just dope. So I really like push-pull legs, and I think the big thing is although bro split is what got us in the gym, and we would just do stupid amounts of sets. Like I think reducing the volume and like focusing on the compound lifts is something that's huge. I think push-pull legs allows you to focus on compound lifts and not like bullshit.
Yeah,
like 100%. I think a lot of people
it keeps it simple too.
I think it keeps it simple and like it's the main things because I think when with all like even dieting and working out, it's prioritizing like the things that are really important. With the dieting, like calories are the biggest thing.
Yeah, macro.
Then once you get that down, you start adding like more specific stuff. Yeah. Like with working out, like you should be doing some sort of main
compound lift,
like for everything. Like you should be if you're not bench pressing, you should be doing weighted dips.
It's not the big like 3 lifts like barbell squat, low bar, like bench press. Like it's not that those things are like magical. But you should be doing some kind of compound, like horizontal press, whether that's dumbbell press, whether it's a dip for you, something that you can do every week and then track your progress linearly. You add weight time.
That's the biggest.
How do you know if you're making progress if you're not? If a month from now you're not lifting more weight than you were today, like.
I think
doesn't work that way.
I think that's a really big point on like I guess like what you don't know as a beginner. That not like we knew that. Like we didn't know that and we figured it out. But like a lot of people like they see like they'll start off with machines and stuff. They'll do a bunch of random like different like accessory movements versus like if
also they'll do a lot of like we did a bunch of machines, so you can't like linearly track how you're changing.
Also, you're doing like one day I'll do this type of exercise, then the next week I'm doing a different exercise. So there's no like in terms
you can't track it.
In terms of weight lifting, the biggest thing is I'm doing this movement. I'm lifting the bar today because I'm not. If you're not like all of us start at the bar or whatever, or like you're doing assisted pull-ups. Next week you should be doing like. Eventually, you should get to a weighted pull-up. I mean, like a bodyweight pull-up. Yeah. And like if you're doing the bar today on bench press, next week or like next month, it should be the bar on a 5.
It's
like that's the
something that
thing.
you can track, and you always want. I think personally, for me at least, like you want to have that big movement in the front.
Yeah, 100%.
Because then you know like okay, this was like the highest energy that I had for that workout, and this is the one that I can track for later on.
Yeah.
Like that's the most important one with like a dumbbell press or whatever it may be. Like that big movement is the one where it's like okay, I'm using multiple muscle groups. And I can track this over time.
That is, by the way, what compound movement is. Like, for example, if you're doing a bench press, like your shoulders, your front delt is getting hammered, your chest is getting hammered, and your triceps is getting hammered. So it's like it's not just like a one movement, like a fly, like which is just your chest. So that's what a compound versus like accessory movement.
Or isolated movement.
Yeah, isolated
is like a bicep curl is just like usually just biceps.
Yeah. Versus a pull up, which is gonna hit your biceps and it's gonna hit your back.
Yeah.
If you're just starting out, you should be taking like one of these compound lifts. And it doesn't have to be bench, but if you want to do bench, that's cool. But bench is very technical lift. Like you have to learn how to do it the right way. Just like swinging a baseball bat or throwing a baseball. But you should pick something that you're gonna do and do it for an extended period of time, like 3 months, and track your progress. And then like as you get better at it, like you'll be better at like muscle recruitment and doing it the right way. You'll be able to track your progress, right? Like if you go in from you did bench press this week, and you did dumbbell bench next week, like you have no idea how to
Like what the difference is.
Yeah.
Like, how do you track
It
that?
doesn't have to be bench. It could be dumbbell bench. It could be incline dumbbell bench. Whatever.
Just commit to one thing.
Yeah, something that's compound that works more than one muscle.
Yeah.
And you commit to
Yeah.
it for a long period of time. Like problems on dips. Like,
Yeah, that's a big thing for me. Like,
and then like one time, like I think you can't like because I was always doing bench because I love the bench. I think it's easy to track like because I've worked on the technique over the years. Like I have it down like perfectly.
yeah, you've been
But, like,
you're from A1.
But like you came at me like when because I would always like espouse like you have to do like a compound lift first, and you guys were on the bro split at the time.
Yeah.
And you're like what's the big deal if I do like dumbbell bench? I'm like nothing. Like the same principle applies. Like you came at me like expecting to debate this topic.
Yeah.
I was like no, it's the same. You're like oh. All right.
Yeah, I think that the one thing a lot of like especially guys like bench pressing is like what everybody thinks and nobody knows how to do. Like my problem is like I don't know how to bench press. People think you just lie there and do it, and like that's not right in the slightest.
Like I worked as a trainer for 2 years and I've lifted for a long time, and I still think my bench press form is not the best.
I don't even have like a kind of any clue on how to properly barbell bench press.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of cues that go into bench press. I think bench press is a lot more complicated than squat. And squat's pretty complicated.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like I don't have good form on deadlift.
I think all three of those are.
Actually,
I have like
each one has their own trials.
I think the biggest thing that when we talk about like form is like form for like actually getting the more weight versus form to not hurt yourself. Like bench and deadlift are two exercises where like having good form is not to save you like from hurting yourself, which it does do. If you don't do like you can bench more weight with good form, which is bad form. Most people use bad form because they want to put up more weight. Yeah. But bench press and deadlifts are forms like if you get the right form, like the actual movement is easier.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's harder. Like I don't know how to deadlift.
Like if you look at like powerlifters, right? Like you look at the powerlifters in like the 181 pound class for like whatever competition it is, right? Like, and you'll see guys in that weight class benching like north of 400 pounds.
That's ridiculous.
But like if you look at them, they don't look like they can bench 400
No,
pounds.
yeah.
But their technique is spot on.
Yeah.
Like you compare another guy just from like whatever like if you go to like a local hardcore gym and like you take a guy that's benching 400 pounds there, like the muscle size difference is huge.
Yeah.
But like the other guy is maximizing his technique, but this guy isn't, you know?
Yeah.
And then that's how the bench is like a super technical lift. Like if you have shitty form, like you see like football bros like bounce the shit off their chest, whatever, like the ceiling of like where you can go from there is like so much lower than where you can. But when you actually learn to like lock your shoulders in, lock your scapula down, like you bench, however you grip the bar is up to you. Like there's no right way to do that because it depends on like how wide your shoulders are, like how long your arms are. But there is an optimal way that's like individual to you, right? Like if you have short arms, like you might have a closer grip because the range of motion isn't so long, and then you can get more power out of your triceps. But like me, I started out low when I was playing football. I like brought it out over the years, and like I kind of bench in like not a straight line. It's like more like a J arc, where I start over my chin and end underneath my chest, right? Like that's like I cannot deviate from that range of motion. Like that is the perfect range of motion for me. Like once I deviate like 1 degree out or in of that, like it becomes exponentially harder from there to like.
Russell did that recently.
You also got to learn how to use leg drive. Like for me, like leg drive was a huge thing that like propelled my bench up. Like you should be. I've heard like the Q said that like if you're about to bench, like every muscle in your body should be tense, right?
Yeah.
Like if I go to like lightly shove you. You shouldn't move, right? But like I've also heard like with that it's like you should be flexed, but like at 50%, right? Like and then when you touch your chest, then it's 100%.
I think it's more
glutes, like pressing down into the ground. Like I don't actually like you won't see like a movement in my body when I'm pressing it, but like that is happening. Like, like I'm squeezing every muscle.
A lot of people think that just because it's a bench, like it's a chest movement, that it's just chest.
It's not
like
chest,
you're just laying there. Like I've seen some people.
You don't train like you said before. You don't train the muscle. You train the movement, right? And then by training the movement, you're going to lift more weight, and by having more weight for more reps, you're doing more volume. That's going to grow the muscle. Yeah. Anyway,
I'll go related to that an argument that we had before. We don't think we really have it anymore, but like two things. One is just a quick finish what I was going to say about the bench versus like other things. Like I don't really bench press because I don't really know how to do it. It's not something. But like I do weighted dips. And like I started off doing assisted dips because I couldn't do dips, and then that's something that I've clearly like progressed in, and it doesn't really matter if it's bench. My only point is like I don't bench, but like it's something that I made gains on by just having some compound lift.
It's something that you've committed to and you kept working.
And it's a similar movement pattern.
That's just harder to learn. Like if you're just starting out, I say like I always tell people like the most important thing is do something that gets you in the gym. I tell people Like, cause like so many people start out like they go with their friend that's into lifting, guy, and they see that shit, they never want to go. Like, the way you work out, and the way I work is 100% the same. Like, I tell people, like anyone that comes to me, I'm like, just give it 3 hours a week, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just do an hour. Like, if you're gonna do that, like Monday can be you could do chest and back and just do like dumbbell bench and incline dumbbell bench for a couple sets and pull ups and pull downs and get out of the gym, right? And then Wednesday you do legs, and then Friday you do shoulders and arms and do compound movements and those things.
Yeah, there's three. If you do 3 compound movements and that's it, like you'll be huge.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about though, that you were talking about is like we were talking about progressing in weight and the importance of weight. This is something we used to talk about a lot, which is like, do you have to lift? You know, like heavy meaning heavy for you. Do you have to lift heavy? Should that be the priority? Strength gains. How important are strength gains?
Well, okay, so I think my perspective changed on it compared to before. Whereas before, I didn't think weight really mattered at all. But I think it just.
Well, what did you think mattered?
Before?
Yeah. Like, what were you thinking?
Just lifting.
Like reps and like just volume and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Or just lifting as much as you could. But I think the idea is progressive overload is the most important thing, and we've all agreed to that now. Where it's like you just have to be pushing whatever your limit is.
Just like in general, everybody agrees to that now. Like that wasn't like it seems crazy now to like someone that's been in it, but like that was not like
that wasn't the consensus.
That wasn't like dogma. Like 5-6 years ago, like
people just do like 30 rep sets.
And like the difference would be crazy. Like you watch one YouTuber that would just do like not even do sets, like it would just be like one continuous thing, like the whole
I feel
time.
like Chris Jones is kind of like that. Like he just keeps doing things.
That's one see, this is where it's like a fine line for me, because I think progressive overload, like we were talking about, is the important thing. If you're doing the bar today, next month you should be doing the bar in a 5.
Right.
And like that is the most important thing. But bro science, which is kind of just like what I was saying before, just going in and doing something, like I still stand by like a lot of times I'll tell you guys I'll pyramid, I won't count sets. Right. I just do it till I can't feel anything.
Right.
And I still think that there is a place for that. That still is like the center of what I do. I feel like.
Do you do that on your first lift? Like do you do that with dips? Do you do that with squats?
Yeah.
Do you do that?
Not squats, but on dips and like on.
Is that your first movement?
Yeah.
So the thing with that I think is over time, because I've talked to you about this before.
One thing is like I'm new in the game and I haven't been injured.
Yeah. So for me and James, you started in middle school. You started very early. I started in, I wouldn't say high school is like where I really committed. Whereas he started in freshman year of college. And also on top of that, he got like pretty good advice and cues from the two of us.
I didn't make as many mistakes as the other people do that I have no idea, because I have like a lot of people around me telling me, yo, don't do this, don't do this. Yeah. I'll go in the gym with them, seeing how.
So what I think with this like type of scenario, that type of working out, with like continuously putting that much volume, is that over time that might compound to an injury.
Yeah. 'Cause I've never been injured, but like
your knees. This is a good example.
You know, like you're not cognizant of it, but like what you're doing isn't like that far off the mark as it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
But like the best example is your knees with the Stairmaster. Yeah. Right. Like you don't think about it really, and you're like, I'm just gonna keep doing half an hour a day. Yeah. But like you feel it in your knees now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you may not think about it, and it might not like just bother you now, but over time it may agitate you and it'll come up as a problem later on. Like for me, like I didn't think anything I was doing was wrong with like the flies and all that stuff. And then over time, like my shoulder placement, I had internal rotation, I had all these issues.
Bad posture. Yeah,
bad posture and all these problems that I didn't realize was gonna happen, but it happened over time. Like it's not, because it's not a one day thing.
Yeah, it definitely compounds over years.
Yeah, and then when it comes to like injuries and stuff, something I wanted to talk about is like I talked to Brian about this when I had him on the podcast. Was that because he had injured his knee?
Yeah.
And
he's jacked.
He is jacked. He's young. Shout out to Brian.
He's pretty much a pro.
He's
trying to be a pro.
He's trying to be. He's amateur physique right now.
He's
more brolic than I want to say he's gonna be more brolic than Guzman by the time he's Guzman's age.
Like it's like right now, dude. He's like what?
He's 190, 5'10".
190.
No, I think he's he might be 5'11".
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like 190 walking around.
Super lean. Like
yeah, he's pretty damn. Yeah, he's big.
He's like with it. Also like 2 days and.
Yeah, he does a lot of volume.
2 days I couldn't do. I could probably work out every day.
But it's his life. It's his life.
Yeah. 2 days I can't do.
But shout out to Brian.
Yeah, shout out to him.
He's also a mad nice guy. So.
He's a great guy. He's super helpful and all that. Yeah. But the conversation we had was like, when you get injured, when you're starting off, whatever it may be, like don't focus on the weight. Focus on doing it right. And like that's a big problem I had. I was always, even when I got injured, I was like, I'm just gonna do a little less and like focus on like doing the weight. Like I wanted to always keep pushing myself, but I should have stopped way earlier on. And it wasn't until I want to say last year that I stopped. Like I took a just break, like a long break. This is the first time I'm getting back and actually lifting weights in a while. I feel better than I have in a long time. But, you know, the injuries that I had like just kept getting worse and worse and worse because I was still lifting. I was still doing stuff on top of the problems that I had.
Also, I think that another thing is like goals and like what you're doing it for. Like, you shouldn't get to a point where like this is unhealthy.
Yeah,
Like,
it's easy to get addicted to working out.
Not even mentally, because I think I'm in an unhealthy place with it. But like, I think that in terms of like health should be like I shouldn't want to be like, you shouldn't do something where it's like, oh, I'm getting.
It shouldn't be a vice.
Yeah, if you're doing only chest and you're not doing back, right, and your posture is bad and like things like that, like, don't become an unhealthy person to lift a lot of weight.
Yeah.
You know, there's a healthy way to do it. Like what you're saying, like if you're feeling some way, like get off of it, rehab, get right, and then go.
That's a really good point because there was a point where I thought to myself, I was like, am I even making progress by doing this right now?
Yeah.
By lifting? Or would I be better off in taking time off? And the answer was I should have taken the time off earlier on.
If you're hurt, don't go to the gym, go to the doctor. Like,
figure out your problems and like start over.
me.
You also know a lot of
you still haven't got them.
you also know a lot of people who like, if you take two people, right? One guy doesn't lift at all, but somewhat active, but eats great, and another guy who lifts a lot but doesn't eat good. Which one's healthier? The guy who eats good. The guy who eats good is like infinitely healthier than the guy. So like,
there's a hierarchy of what's important and what matters.
Better too. Like,
he feels better. He sleep better. Everything is better.
Yeah.
Hormones are right. They're not moody. Like, it's all that stuff. So I think that is important. One thing I want to talk about though is like body like dysmorphia, I guess.
I had body dysmorphia.
I think we all have body dysmorphia.
Dude, I was at the
Is
gym.
that inevitable if you work out? If you become like religious?
A little bit, but I think it is inevitable a little bit because like the entire purpose of working out is for a lot of people is you want to look.
Dumb as Eddie video of it, like the days don't organize the day you're forever small.
Yeah, but that is real.
That is real. I was looking at myself.
We talk about this every day.
One of us will
say, oh, I'm really small.
Dude, I literally said that today.
Yeah,
I was at the gym and I was lifting. I was looking at myself. I was like, "Fuck, you're scrawny shit." Like, goddamn.
Every other day,
but I think
one way or the other.
Yeah,
I see like people that I know are like physically smaller than me.
Yeah,
but, like
they look
like in my head, like they're bigger than me. Why does that happen? Like,
it's because like I was just doing the bicep flex and I was looking and I was like, I have literally no muscle. Yeah. I've never worked out ever.
It's also like,
but like it really is. I think getting perspective on it.
It's also like one day I'm like, yo, bro, I'm like, shit, I'm big. The next day I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm small. Like, how did this happen? How did I go from one day to the other? Like, it's literally like
crazy. Like, people's bodies are so different. Like, like I know people. Like, there are people that are way bigger than me that like I know personally. Like, I know like they weigh like 215, right? Like I'm 5'10", 205, right? Like, and like they look so much bigger than me. Yeah. But like, they're only like 10 pounds more than me. But like in my head, it's just like that guy is twice my size. Like,
I mean, I think that something that I have a problem with that is like my height. Not so much that I'm short, like not just straight I'm short, like, which is annoying. But like the problem is like no matter how big I do or don't get, like right now I weigh 149 pounds.
Okay.
Not 150 pounds, right? So like that is me weighing 160 pounds lean. I would be huge.
Yeah, you'd be
But
gigantic.
like 160 pounds is nothing.
It's not that
like,
much. Yeah.
James is like 50 pounds on me just like walking around. Yeah. So it's like how big that's really, like that kind of issue.
I think the best answer to that is I think it's inevitable that you're gonna get possible body dysmorphia and like really just like keep judging yourself. Yeah. But you just gotta focus on being the best you that you can be.
Having body dysmorphia like in that way is like
it can propel you.
Yeah, it's like not necessarily like the most unhealthy thing to have.
But when you obsess over
it, you should just be like aware that it's gonna happen.
Yeah. And go back.
It goes like with that, with what you will. Like, there's not much we like can really say about it. Like, we're not gonna be like, it's something that's part of it. Like, you're not gonna cure it. Like, we're always gonna have it. Like, the only thing that you can do is just keep going to the gym, like keep dieting. Like, that's it.
I think the important thing is it goes back to what Pravin says. Like, just understand what's healthy and unhealthy.
Yeah.
Find the balance and do what's best for you.
Yeah.
All right, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up with that. I think that was a good talk. Yeah, it is. My room always ends up hot. Also,
can we leave soon? I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm mad hungry. Alright. Huh?
I'll turn my phone on.
I didn't check. Alright. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Peace out.
See ya.